Imagine a boy, no older than 10, waking up before the sun even touches the horizon. While other children are still asleep, dreaming, he is out on the dusty streets, delivering newspapers to support his family. What if I told you that this very boy, who started his life in a small coastal town, would one day become the leader of over 1 billion people? What if I told you that his greatest dream was almost destroyed by a single rejection letter? This is the incredible story of a man who rose from the simplest of beginnings to the highest office in India, not through power or wealth, but through humility, wisdom, and an unbreakable spirit. This is the story of A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. Our journey begins in Rameswaram, a small island town in South India. It was here, in 1931, that Abul Jainulabdin Abdul Kalam was born into a humble family. His father was a boat owner and his mother was a homemaker. Life was not easy. The family struggled to make ends meet, but their home was always filled with love, discipline, and a deep respect for learning. Young Kalam was a curious child, fascinated by the birds flying in the sky. He would sit for hours, watching them, dreaming of one day soaring through the clouds himself. This childhood dream would ignite a lifelong passion for flight and science. To help his family, Kalam sold newspapers and tamarind seeds. These were not just chores. They were his first lessons in responsibility and hard work. Every morning, after delivering papers, he would rush to school. He wasn't the brightest student in every subject, but he had an intense desire to learn. His teachers remembered him as a quiet, dedicated boy who would spend hours studying, especially mathematics and physics. His family, despite their poverty, sacrificed everything to support his education. They saw a special spark in him, a determination that could not be extinguished. As he grew older, his dream of flying became more focused. He wanted to be a fighter pilot in the Indian Air Force. It was his ultimate goal, the very reason for all his hard work. After finishing his studies in physics, he went on to study aerospace engineering at the Madras Institute of Technology. It was a huge step, and the tuition was expensive. His sister had to sell her own jewelry just to pay for his admission. This incredible sacrifice weighed heavily on Kalam's heart. He promised himself that he would not let her down. He would make her proud. After graduating, the moment of truth arrived. The Air Force was recruiting. Kalam traveled to the selection board, his heart filled with hope and anxiety. He performed well in the interviews and tests. There were only 8 positions available, and he was ranked 9th, just 1 position away. The rejection was crushing. It felt like his entire world had collapsed. The dream he had cherished since childhood, the dream his sister had sacrificed for, was gone. Heartbroken and lost, he walked aimlessly, not knowing where to go or what to do next. Have you ever felt a disappointment so deep it felt like the end of the road? That's where Kalam was. But in that moment of despair, something happened that changed his life forever. He met a spiritual teacher, a Swami, who offered him simple but profound advice. The Swami told him, "Accept your destiny and go ahead with your life. You are not destined to become an Air Force pilot. What you are destined to become is not revealed now, but it is predetermined." These words were like a light in the darkness. Kalam realized that this rejection was not the end, but perhaps a redirection. It was a painful but necessary turning point. With renewed purpose, he joined the Defense Research and Development Organization, or DRDO, as a scientist. His journey was not glamorous at first. He started by designing a small hovercraft, but his brilliance and dedication soon caught the attention of others. A few years later, he was transferred to the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO. This is where Kalam's true destiny began to unfold. He became the project director for India's first ever satellite launch vehicle, the SLV-3. The task was monumental. India was trying to join an exclusive club of spacefaring nations. The pressure was immense. The team worked day and night for years. Finally, in 1979, the day of the first launch arrived. The nation held its breath. The rocket lifted off. And then, just minutes later, it spun out of control and crashed into the sea. It was a catastrophic failure. Kalam was devastated. He had led a team of thousands, and he felt the full weight of their disappointment. He stood before the media, ready to take full responsibility for the failure. But then, something extraordinary happened. The chairman of ISRO, the legendary scientist Satish Dhawan, stepped in. He took the microphone and told the world, "We have failed today, but I am confident that my team will succeed next time." He took the blame himself, protecting his young project director from public criticism. This act of leadership taught Kalam a lesson he never forgot. A true leader takes responsibility for failure and gives credit for success. And succeed they did. Just 1 year later, in 1980, the team tried again. This time, the SLV-3 soared into the sky, flawlessly placing the Rohini satellite into orbit. India had done it. The entire nation erupted in celebration. When it was time to face the press again, Satish Dhawan told Kalam, "Today, you will handle the press conference." That day, Kalam learned the most important lesson of his life. When success comes, share it with your team. This experience shaped him into the leader he would become, a leader known for his incredible humility. From that point on, Kalam's career skyrocketed. He became known as the Missile Man of India for his pivotal role in developing the nation's most important missile programs. He wasn't just a scientist. He was a leader who inspired thousands of young minds to dream big and work for their country. He believed that a nation's strength lies not only in its military power, but also in the power of its people's dreams. In 2002, the nation called upon him for a different kind of service. In a surprising move, Abdul Kalam, the humble scientist from Rameswaram, was elected as the 11th President of India. He wasn't a politician. He was a man of science, a man of the people. And that's exactly what he became, the people's president. He transformed the presidency. He opened the doors of the grand presidential palace to ordinary citizens, especially children. He traveled across the country, not just as a head of state, but as a teacher. His favorite audience was always students. He would speak to them for hours, urging them to dream, to innovate, and to believe in themselves. His message was simple: dream, dream, dream. Dreams transform into thoughts, and thoughts result in action. He served his term with grace and integrity, earning the love and respect of the entire nation. Even after his presidency, he did not retire. He went back to his first love, teaching. He spent his final years traveling to universities and schools, igniting the minds of the next generation. It was during one such lecture, in 2015, that he collapsed on stage. He was doing what he loved most until his very last breath. The boy who sold newspapers on the streets of Rameswaram, who dreamt of flying with the birds, had flown higher than he could have ever imagined. He didn't become a fighter pilot, but he built the wings for an entire nation to soar. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam's life teaches us that failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. It teaches us that humility is the greatest strength of a leader, and most importantly, it teaches us that no matter where you come from, your dreams are valid. His legacy is not in the missiles he built or the titles he held. His true legacy lives on in the hearts of millions of young Indians who dare to dream because he told them they could. He left us with a powerful question to ask ourselves. If you want to shine like a sun, first burn like a sun. So I ask you, what is your dream? the one that you think is too big or too difficult. If a boy from a small town with almost nothing could rise to lead 1 billion people, what can you achieve? Write your dream in the comments below. Let's inspire each other. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. If you enjoyed this story and want to continue learning English with more inspiring content, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you in the next one.